Good morning all. Today I am going to introduce a topic from research methodology, that is sampling technique. Every researcher needs a data and data should be related with the unit of population. But collecting information from the entire population is impossible. So the researcher have to select some samples. So I will discuss here some techniques which can be used to select that sample. Let's see it. Sampling techniques. It can be divided into two types, probability sampling and non-probability sampling. We will discuss it in detail. First category is probability sampling. In this technique, each unit has equal chance or equal opportunity to be selected as a sample. Let's see what are the probability sampling techniques used in research. And also, it is also known as random sampling. So let's see the random sampling techniques. First one, simple random sampling. In this method, every unit in that population gets an equal opportunity to be selected as a sample. And these units are free from bias. There are mainly two methods are used, lottery method and table of random numbers. First one, lottery method. Lottery method is familiar for you because we know that here write the names and codes of each unit in a piece of paper and put into a container. And we are randomly selecting some piece of paper as sample. That's all. So here every unit gets the equal chance. There is no purpose, there is no judgment. We are randomly selecting the lots. Second one, table of random numbers. Here, each unit of the population is assigned a number. And from a random point on the table of random numbers are selected. A unit with numbers similar to the random number is selected to form the sample. Here is an example of table of random numbers. The researcher allowed some number to the units of population. And randomly we are selecting some numbers from this table. The unit which is similar to that number is taken as sample. That's all. Next method is stratified sampling. Here the researcher divides the entire population into subgroups. Each subgroup is called as strata. And each strata will be homogeneous because we are dividing this population on a certain basis. So every strata will be homogeneous. That means each unit in strata, one strata is homogeneous. And from that stratas, we are taking the sufficient number of units. See here. Here there is a city. It is a huge population. And we are dividing this population into certain subgroup. Each subgroup is called as strata. And from each subgroup, we are randomly selecting the required number of samples. Okay, here the city is divided on a caste basis and taken certain number of units from the each group and formed a sample. It is the stratified sampling technique. Next method is systematic sampling. Here, the researcher will select the first unit at random and the next samples will be selected at an interval. So the interval will be calculated by using a sample, that is capital N divided by small n. Capital N denotes that the size of population and small n denotes that size of sample. And the main feature is that the entire population list is available for the researcher. And by using this interval system, they are selecting the required number of samples. See, here 40 names are here. So we are selecting some units, 4 units as our sample. First, we will take the interval. Population size is 40 and sample size is 4. So by dividing 40 with 4, the interval will be 10. So here I will randomly select first person. So the first person will be William. After the 10 interval, we are selecting the next person. So Lucas. Okay, William, Lucas. He will be the second unit. After him, we are taking the 10th person. The procedure is goes on by taking the 4 unit. Okay, so this is the systematic sampling method. Next one, cluster sampling. Under this method, samples are selected from the population in group. These groups can be called as cluster, and every unit in that cluster is taken as our sample, and we are collecting the data from the entire unit. Okay, we are collecting the data from the entire unit in that cluster. Next one, area sampling. Here, the groups or clusters are formed on the basis of geographical basis. Some geographical criteria is used to divide the population into certain groups. And from that groups formed, a particular group is selected as our sample in a random basis. And each unit in that sample or in each unit in that group is considered as our sample unit, and we are taking data. So this is the area sampling method. Next one, multi-stage sampling. Sampling procedure is carried out in several stages. From the population, we are selecting first stage sample. After that, we are selecting the second stage sample. Then from the second, we are selecting third stage sample. And the procedure is gone up to the certain number of units we got. See here, there is a country in the first stage. So this is our population. From this country, we are taking the segments, some segments in the stage 2. And in the stage 3, we are taking some household from these segments. And in the stage 4, we are taking some household from the individuals from the household. Okay, so here 4 stages is processed. In the first stage, we are taking the country, and from the country, we are taking the segment. From the segment, we are taking household. From the household, we are taking individuals. These individuals will be our sample. So, this is the multi-stage sampling technique. Next one, sequential sampling. Drawing samples in sequence from the population and collection and analysis of data with respect to the sample selected at each stage is sequential sampling. Okay, so here we are taking the samples in a sequence mode, and from the units we are collecting the data and making analysis. If the data is not enough, we are taking the another sample and making data collection and analysis. The procedure goes on up to the level of research. So these are the probability sampling techniques. Next one, non-probability sampling. In this sampling technique, the units in the population does not get any equal chance. That means here the researcher will take the samples on a purpose or a judgment basis. So it is also known as non-random sampling. Okay, so each unit in the population does not get any equal chance. Let's see what are the non-probability sampling techniques. First one, judgment sampling. Here the researcher purposefully selects a unit as the sample. Okay, he makes a judgment regarding the unit and he purposefully selects the units as sample. So it can be called as judgment, purposive or deliberate sampling. So I have already said that here the researcher deliberately or purposefully selecting some units from the population as the sample. So a sample selected which investigator thinks to be most typical of the universe. Okay, here the researcher selects those units which is suitable for his study. So purposefully he selects some units as his sample. Let's see, here a population is given. He purposefully or making any judgment regarding this population and select some students or some units as the sample. Okay, so he purposefully takes some units as his sample. Next one, convenient sampling. So it is clear from the term that the researcher select the samples according to his convenience. Samples are selected on the convenience of the researcher. There is no probability, there is no judgment. He does not make it deliberately. He just make the samples according to their convenience. See, here a lot of students are here. This is the population. He selected these group as sample because he think that it is convenient for him. That's all. There is no criteria, there is no basis, anything. Just select the sample which is convenient for him. Next one, quota sample. Quota set up according to some specific characteristics here. Within the quota, selection depends upon personal judgment. Here, a population is given. And here, the population is divided into subgroups. These subgroups is called as quota. And from each subgroup, he personally or purposefully selects some units as his sample. You can see a familiarity with the stratified sample. What is the similarity? In case of stratified sampling, the population is given and we are dividing into a subgroup. Up to this stage, it is similar. But after this, it is different. In case of stratified sampling, we are taking the unit from each subgroup on a random basis. But in case of quota sampling, we are taking units from these subgroups on a personal judgment. Okay, so this stage is different in quota sampling and in stratified sampling. Up to this level, it is same. But after that procedure, it is different. Okay, so it is clear that quota sampling, the entire population is divided into subgroups. The subgroup is called as quota. From each quota, we are selecting the units on a purposefully or on a judgment basis. Next one, snowball sampling. Here, the researcher make contact with one or two cases in the population. Ask these cases to identify further cases. And ask these new cases to identify another cases. And this procedure goes on up to he gets the sufficient number of units. This is the procedure. The researcher will contact these two persons. These two persons will connect these three persons. And these three will connect another persons. Okay, this chain will go through the end in which the researcher will get a sufficient number of samples. Okay, so these are the major non-probability sampling techniques which can be used to select samples. That's all about the sampling techniques. Thank you.